Okay, and now for the main event, putting the body together. Alright, you're going to grab your hair, and you're going to go down to the third row, mine is green, go through the second loop there, and then the fifth one down here, and you're going to put that on the fourth and fifth peg up from the bottom. Like so. Okay. Then you get your colors that you want to use for your head, and you single, double. We're going to go across, making an X. Push those down. Get your hook, make a cap band. I'm going to put those on the fifth peg up on each side. And then loom. You want to make sure you loom the band that's underneath first. Making an X. Push your bands down. Now you can loop over that hair. Try your best not to let the bands get tangled up underneath. They can get twisted, so untwist those if they are twisted. Okay. Next, we want to do our next row, the unicorn row. We want to start on the sides first. And then you can put your unicorn on the front. And then on the back, you want to go through your hair. So that third row we went through, we want to go back through, except go through the middle bands too. So it looks like there's 4 bands on the hook. So basically the middle 4 bands. And pull it through. And then you can loom. Going to be pulling out and around. The bottom 4. Push your bands down. We're going to expand. So grab these top bands. And the back 2. So you should have 2 bands on every peg now. And they're all connected fairly closely. Next is our ear row. We're going to start back here most of the time and go around. And get your ears. Oh, sorry, yellow. Those go in the middle. Also going to pull your hair through if you've done your hair like mine. You want to go through the usual for bands. And you'll want to pull your unicorn through, so go through the second layer, try and go through the very middle. Push your unicorn up, grab onto it with your hook. And of course it's being difficult. Did I mention this whole pattern is kind of challenging? Okay, and pull it through. There you go. So, there, now it's in the middle. Okay, that should do. Alright, and continuing around. Put your ear on. And then you want to go through your hair, go through the fourth row down. Those middle four bands. Oh, look at that, it's the same color. And then you can loom. They will all be 2 bottom bands. I do recommend doing this in a rainbow kind of pattern if it's your very first time doing this, so you kind of get the hang of how to do it. Also want to state that this pattern took me about 6 years to perfect. Yes, 6 years. I started with just making legs at first. This is your eye row, by the way. And then I would make a head and then try to do the rest of the body, and it took a while to figure out how each part should go. Okay, when you put your eyeball on there, make sure you got that X part facing up. And if you have your yin-yang, make sure the black is in the front. Because if you have whites in the front, it'll look like your pony is a little cross-eyed. And if that's what you're going for, by all means, go for it. But if you have the black toward the front, it looks like the pony's looking at you. Make sure you push the ears toward the center so they don't get covered up and stuck inside the head. And then through the hair, the next row down, which is your 5th row of hair. And then loom. And fix your eyeballs so that they're not pinched in the other bands. It will be challenging to do the next part if they are. So just make sure they're kind of movable and that X is up top. Eventually your eyeballs will turn so the X isn't in the front. It'll do that on its own as we loom along. But it's good to start because we're going to go through your eyeballs. I call this eyes only row. So the usual single double, we're going to go through the eyeball. So we go through those first 2 bands, and then your eye color, and the last 2 bands. To make sure you got through them all, you can always look through to make sure you got it. It's always best to check. See? Turned on its own. And then across the front. And through the eyeball again. It's also good to hold underneath the eye so you got something to push against it to make sure you've got that firm and you can dig through fairly easily. The next row will be a lot more simpler now that it's got some bands through it already. Alright, loom those 2 front. Okay, push bands down. We're going through again. This is your nose row as well. So going through the eyeball should be a lot more simpler. You just kind of shove it through. And you should be able to just go along. If this is your first time making it, please check. You don't want to have funky looking eyeballs. Your nose. Cap band. Put that on there. And you want to grab your next color. If you're doing it rainbow, go through that cap band again, pull it through, put it on the pegs above. It's just easier to do it that way. Going through the eyeball. Loom those front ones. I do apologize for the camera. All I have is my phone. I don't have much equipment for doing this properly, I suppose. So I've been doing it in small increments. I hope I'll be able to get it all connected as one. But if not, then these will be on YouTube in pieces, parts. Okay. Next row, we're going all the way around. So, usual. But for this row, we're going to need to leave our hook in it. In the other side where the eyeball is, because it's difficult to loom that side if you don't have something. Oh snap, back up. It's supposed to go through the eyeball. Sorry about that. Quick! Go through your eyeball. Whew, that was close. Okay. And this is why you have to have something in there separating the bands, because it literally touches down here. This one you don't need to, because of this one here is on top and you can tell where it's separated. But this side is a little more challenging because it's all touching, so it's hard to tell which bands are not. So you want to go under here like this and push your hook in there. Hang on, let me close up for you so that it's in that top band you just put on, and just push your hook down in there and leave it there. You want to put on the rest of your bands on the sides. We can leave the back for after when we're done doing this part. Alright, so you want to loom this side already. So make sure you turn your hook so you can grab those bands and pull them all over. Carefully. Use your fingers to hold those other bands down if you can, because they might just jump off and then, well, it's difficult to get them back on. So, alright, and now for the hair. Going through the back of your hair, this is the last hair row. If you have a strong hook already through it, then you won't have to rehook it, but I recommend rehooking. Making sure all the bands are on there. Yep, they're all on there. Put your helping hook aside for later. Pull that band all the way through. Carefully. Okay. There, now you're done with your hair. Well, except for the next row. Okay, go ahead and loom that. You got that all done. See here. Here we go. This is how we do this, especially if it's your first time. See the gap? It's hard to tell because that top band's purple. You can do 2 at a time, flipping it over if you like, but it is preferred to do all at once. That one we already did. And there we go. Push your bands down. Next up is our mouthpiece. So get whatever band you would like for your mouth. Single band. Double it, of course. We're going to go in through the back of this. You can go in here, but it's easier to just go behind the peg, inside both of those bands. Grab your mouth color, put it around the peg. Make sure you help those bands get above the band you just put on, so it's at the bottom. Same thing on the other side. Get it around the peg, get those other bands above it, and then you want to loom it over, and there's your mouthpiece. Easy peasy. Okay. And go around. Nothing special here except for the hair. We'll go through once more through the last hair piece. So there we go. All the way around. And through the hair one last time. And loom as usual. Alright, push your bands down. And now we're going to reduce. This part is pretty challenging, just like the rest of it. We're going to go into the second peg here. Take them off. Make sure you're holding it like this in your hand. Go into the top one, take those off, and bring it back down. Carefully making sure all the bands are back on that peg. Don't take your hook out until you make sure they're all on there. And same thing on the other side. This side is a little bit more easier because you can tell the difference between them. So you can get one side on first and then put the other on. And this is the time where you make sure your unicorn is up, your ears are in. My ears got covered, so push through. Make sure you find those ears, pull them up. There we go. Ooh. Okay. Next we go a row around. I think I did those colors a little out of order. Huh, interesting. Okay. I did. I think I did. Did I? I don't know. That's weird. Alright. I got confused for a second. Sorry about that. Okay. Alright. Just a row around. Pretty simple. It's so quiet. All I can hear are the cicadas outside making noises. It reminds me of camp. I grew up in the city, so I'm not, I mean, I'm in another city, but it's like more country-like. Okay, so looming, you'll have your 4 bands, and then here you'll have 8. Try and do all at once. You can do a few at a time if you like. Oh, see, that one's starting to jump off. Get back on there. Here we go. Carefully, carefully. Push bands down. You can push your face up. Boop. There we go. Starting to get ahead here. Alright, we're going to expand and reduce the front. So find those top bands on the back. Go back one. And we're going to do the same thing we did previously, reducing the front. So go inside here, and the front, bring it back. Alright, I think I got that first one on. That made it pretty simple. Okay, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's very challenging, and even more so because there's a camera right in front of me. So this is even more challenging for me. Limited view and everything. Okay, here we go. Alright, this is your neck row. You're going to go all the way around. If you want to give your pony a long neck, do 2 layers. If your pony is an adult pony, I would do 2 layers. But if you only did 4 layers for your legs, then you only need 1 layer here for the neck. Giving it more would make it look a little not proportionate. So if you want yours to look proportionate, you just do 1 layer here if you've done 4 layers for your feet or legs. If you did 6 layers, I definitely recommend 2 layers right here. And if you did 8 layers for your legs, then definitely 2 layers. But only 1 layer here if you've done 4 layers for your legs. Anything else, you'll need to do 2 layers right here. Don't fall off. Get back on. See? Sometimes I have troubles too. It's because it's a difficult pattern as it is. Whew. And yes, your bands are supposed to be nice and tight. So you're going to need to be really strong to be doing this. I did mention it's difficult, yes? Okay. We're going to expand again. We're going to take all these bands here in the back. Move them back 1. That's right, stretch them out. Pray they don't break. Because if they do, oh snap, you're in trouble. Alright, then we're going to take the top 2 on this side. Make sure they're connected to the front. Put it on that peg there. Go back, move these back 1. And then go back and move those back to where they need to be. On this side, you only need to do the top 2, move it back. There we go, so we're covering 4 pegs again. Alright. Next we do a usual row around. So nothing special here. getting away from me. By all means, use your hook if it's getting away from you. Once you have your layer on, loom away. There'll be 2 here, 2, and then back to 4. And same on the other side. Yeah, get on there. Okay, push your bands down. We're going to expand again, taking the top back to just the top 2 back ones, jumping back. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Make sure they're down. Okay, this row is our wing row. Gonna put a band on, and then your wings. I need to change the color on my wings. Thought it was purple, but it's blue. Oh well. Make sure you have your right wing. It will curve on the inside here. And then around to the other side. And, you know, copy opposite. So it matches. Maybe I did skip a color. I don't know. Oh well. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. It's still going to come out looking cute. Just, you know, different colors. I gotta go through the bands here. Switch the color so it matches. I like mine to match. And your left wing over there. There we go. And loom as usual. You'll have 2 bands on the bottom there, 2 there. Make sure you don't let those bands get caught underneath the other 4 bands till you get to the other side. See how it got caught underneath there? Pull those wings up. Don't let them get caught. Push bands down. See our little pony coming alive. Okay. We're going to expand a big jump here. So we're going to pull all these bands, go back 1. Same thing on the other side. Pull it back. That's a big stretch. All these bands here. same thing on the other side. Make sure you got all those bands on there before you let go. That was a risk I just took right there. Whew, okay. Alright, top 2 bands here. Make sure they're connected to the front. So we can put this one back and then bring the other back. On this side, you just need the top 2. Make sure they're connected to behind. And there you go. Alright. Whew. Alright, a row around. So, how's it going? Is it fairly good? Has it been challenging yet? This pattern is still challenging for me. Must have made it over, man, I don't know. I lost count after 10. But you can see all my ponies I've made on Facebook. They're in my albums under Looming Creations, I believe. Something like that. I have some on Instagram. So just type in my name, Rayne Riverstone. And some of them are featured on my other YouTube channel. It's just my name. But you'll have to scroll down a lot to find it. It was put on there a while ago. Those were with my early patterns, and sure, they looked fine and cute, but I still wasn't satisfied with how they looked. So that's why I didn't make a pattern back then either. I mean, yeah, they were good, they were cute, but it wasn't quite how I wanted them to look. Even though I posted them, I just wanted to say, hey, look, here's my progress of making the ponies. Here they are, they're cute. Alright, looming the usual 4, 4, and then you'll have 2 here, 2, and same thing on the other side. Alright, push those down. Okay, this row is our cutie mark row, and we're only going halfway. So we're going to put a band here. And on this one, you'll have your cutie mark, so whatever color you want that to be. I'm going to pick, let's see, what color should I pick? I don't know. I guess I'll go with black, because I like black. Alright, so make a cap band. If you want your pony to have 3 cutie marks, you'll have to watch a different video for that. And I'll be honest, I don't know when I'll be able to get that up, but I will post a separate video for that. Alright, and then we'll put one more here. And then we'll do the other side, the opposite side here. Don't forget your cutie mark, cap band. And you don't have to have a cutie mark if you don't want one, so you just skip the whole cap thing if you don't want one. Not every pony has to have a cutie mark. It can be a blank blank. Oh, this is also your tail row. And I'm going to have to change the color for the tail too. I think I did do it slightly different than my other one. Interesting. That might have been an old pony too. Might have changed the pattern since then. I haven't made the rainbow one in a while, so I've made other patterns for people. So, alright, anyway, tail goes on there. Now, it'd be best to put your ponytail in a ponytail so that it stays out of your way. And it keeps it all together so it's not all over the place while you're finishing up this pony. There we go. Ta-da. Alright, so we'll loom the back. And this one here. And this one. We'll leave that one alone. So do not loom this one. So skip that one. Loom this, and so on. Alright. Push those bands down. Next row, we'll do the same thing, repeating the process. And then on the opposite side, mirroring this side. Make sure your tail is up so you can get that back band on there. And loom like before. Not the first one. Okay, push bands down. And we're going to do a smaller back row. So only 2 on this side. Two on the other side. Make sure your tail's up. And we'll loom those here, and then this one, not the first one. So just the back 2 bags. Push your bands down. Okay. And now for the challenging part. We're going to put our legs on. Alright. So, grab your bar that's got your legs on it. We need those helping hooks, so make sure you have them handy. Alright, this is how we do this, the major transfer part. Put that there. Make sure you get those top 2 bands. And then put them on there. Grab your helping hook. You're going to put it in on the peg that your legs are coming from. Down in there. And then go under. And there you go. That is how you hold your leg on there. Alright. And more bands going this way. Oh, what color are we on? We're on green? I think we're on green, yep. Even though those are purple, I'm still putting on the green because it shows me what layer I'm on. And then one more, and then we'll add the front legs. So we'll do a transfer again. Top 2 bands. Top 2. Okay. Your helping hook. Go down inside. And then up under the other. There you go. Okay. Go across the front. Other side. You will have to literally turn around. It's a lot easier. Top 2 bands. Your helping hook, go down into it, and then up under. There we go. And then going back. And then your back leg. Top 2 bands. Top 2. And your helping hook. Go down and in. Up and under. There we go. This can be put aside for now. We don't need that anymore. And your back band. Okay. Head on this side. Your looming is going to be a little tricky because these sticks are in the way. Try and do the best you can. You want to get just that top band here. Make sure you go around and get all those bottom bands. Same thing. It's going to be kind of challenging on the other side because we didn't put a hook in or anything. Don't really need to. I mean, you can count the bands. It's not too challenging. But it really can be. Actually, that was pretty simple. Alright, now that all those have been loomed, It's time to get really crazy with this. Okay, here we go. Hold on to your seatbelts. All right, hold your loom, face on this side. We're going to reduce the front like we've always have. Okay. Put your helping hooks on the inside of your pony when you do this. Careful, careful. Other side. And once you have that on there, you can put your little hoof right there behind that peg. This side's a little more easier. If you're left-handed, I don't know what to tell you. Let go of those bends. Whew, okay. There we go. Okay. Face on this side. We're going to reduce the back now. Push this band down. It's just next to the hoof. We're taking the one behind it. So that's your 1, 2, third one back from where we just reduced from. You're going to bring it up. Careful, careful. Same thing on the other side. Push those bands down that are up front. All right. Face on this side. We're going to bring these bands forward to the empty peg. And then bring the back bands all the way up to that peg and join. So every peg will be doubled. All right, so other side. Bringing these forward to the empty peg. Make sure all the bands are on there before you let go. The back, bring them up to that last peg. Make sure your leg is up. Okay. Don't let it get caught underneath. All right. Try and push those bands down to the very bottom as best you can, because this is now extremely crowded. All right. Gotta remind myself my next color is blue. All right. The rest of the legs. This part is somewhat easy. You can move those others out of the way. Start with the back. Faces on this side. Put those bands on, those 2 pegs there. So you got 3 pegs. So one side will be on the middle and the other on the back. And just put that aside, you don't need it anymore. Front one will go on the front and middle peg. There you go. Your front band. Just push your face out of the way if you need to. Other side of your legs. Go on the middle peg and that first peg. Front. And your back leg. You'll go on the back and middle peg. Back band. Around. There we go. Make sure you pull your legs up. Make sure they're not caught in the bands there. Alright, here we go. Carefully, carefully. You can do a few bands at a time. Because if we try to do all of them at once, there's a good chance those bands will definitely come off. So, yeah. And I can't tell here, so I'm going around. That one I could do all the way. This side's always trouble. So I'm going to do a few bands. Use my fingers to hold them down. There we go. Pull your legs up. Don't let them get caught in there. Middle. It's over here. Silly. Okay. Alright. Now that all those have been loomed, hopefully you're with me. Whew. Alright. Now we're going to reduce again. Okay, at this point you can pull your body up or use your hook and push it up. Carefully hold on to those bands that are on the side, just in case. Can try and pull them up here. There we go, so it's not so crowded underneath. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Make sure those bands are down. The middle peg, we're going to take the top two. Now this is the challenging part because sometimes when you're looming them over, they get a little mixed up. So here's another challenging part. We gotta find the bands that are connected to the front here, and we gotta put them to the back. So I'm not sure if it's exactly the top two. Looks like they're crossing as I pick them up. So the only way to tell is you can go around your peg like this and try and find those top two. So challenging, this part. You can try your best to push it back and see which bands are top using the bottom back portion. What the? How did it get in there? Alright, that's weird. Okay. Did I get it? Wait, how is it still? Okay, somehow it got hooked on into the green band there. Oy. Alright. Try again. Whew. This is why it's an advanced pattern. Did I get it? I got it. I got it. Okay, so we want to pull that. Okay. Give it a good pull, not too far. They don't want to break, but you want to make sure they get pulled enough to go past that peg. You want to make sure that they're stretchy. Okay, it's important. Pull them out first. Okay, very important. Because if you don't pull them out and you just put them on here, that stretch is going to give it a lot of stress and it will break. Alright, same thing on the other side. You with me? Here we go. I think this side's a little more easier to see. Did I get it? Should be connected to the back. Looks like it is. Pull that out. Get it around to the front. That leg out from it. Alright, and this will be on the front, so pull it towards the front and then go around, pushing the bands away. Okay. Pull the legs out. Don't let them get stuck underneath. Alright, now we can layer it. Whew. Okay. We just do a roll around, right? Okay. My next color is purple. So, since that middle band is empty, we want to just do it on the back peg and the front. So we're going to push this band over the peg, like so. Do the front. Same thing on the side. You want to skip that middle peg. Take it to the back. Push that band over the peg. It helps when you're looming. And then your back band. Make sure your tail's up and all the bands are not stuck underneath those bands. Alright, let's loom. We want to get all those bands at the bottom. Actually, it is best to loom that band we stretched. Go ahead and loom that over first so it is not as stressed on it. And then go back and loom the rest. It's a lot easier that way and less likely to break. Alright, push your bands down. Whew. we're going to do one more, just like we did before. This time it should be a lot easier because we don't have to worry about that other band in the way or risk breaking. And ladies and gentlemen, this is your last layer. Woo! Last layer! We made it! Oh my goodness. Okay, now to take it off, place your thumb over this last band here on the back, or the peg. Alright, keep it there. We're going to stick your hook in there, take the bands off, come to the front, take them off, go around to the other side, take them off, and then to the very last one. Careful now. And take off. So you have this lovely little interesting thing right there. Grab two bands. Two bands. We're going to pull them through. Careful, careful. Carefully. I recommend pulling down on this. Going through nice and slow. Okay, then make a typical slip knot. Pull it. Make sure it's nice and tight. Not too tight, but you know, fairly tight. Okay, we're going to come to the back of the pony where the tail is. Take your hook and go in that first little bump right there. Grab one of the bands, pull it through, tie it like you're tying shoes. Make 2 knots or 3, 2 or 3 knots. I think 2 is good. Next thing I do is twist it. Twisty, twisty, twist. Come to the back again. Take your hook, stick it in. Yeah, that's right, right there. Let's not make a big deal about that. Alright, then come up as close as you can to where those bands are. You're going to grab them and pull it through all the way. Push it down, and then you'll be able to push the rest of that through. And carefully undo your hook. And there's your pony. You can undo your ponytail if you like. Adjust your tail, fix your wings, maneuver your head around if you like. Make sure your ears are all cool looking. Your eyeballs, you can fix those if they need a little bit of adjusting. Your little nose, unicorn. Your hair. Okay. And there we go. We have your little pony. Ta-da! Bunny. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.